Hey guys, welcome to a very special interview. Today I'm here with Bo Mitchell, who plays Kyler's right-hand man, Brucks, on Cobra
Dude,
Kai. Thank you so much for coming on, Bo. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. What an intro. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Oh, oops. So before we get to the discussion, we actually no, my bad. That's the next question. So
Question. You fired up.
well, I guess I can mention it. A lot of people were asking if Bo is going to be in season 3, if he's going to be playing Brucks in season 3, and unfortunately, Bo cannot reveal that information. So, we're not going to talk about season 3, and we'll just have to wait. Maybe we'll see you in the trailer or the actual season, but yeah, we can't reveal that information. So sorry about that, everybody. But Netflix, you guys just went to Netflix. Shows obviously blowing up all around the world. Can you talk about what, like, ever since August 28th with going to Netflix, what has it been like for you?
Yeah. I mean, it's been a crazy explosion. I mean, you guys know you're the fans. You're watching it. You guys are all stoked. I'm sure most of you guys have been here. As we were previously on YouTube, and seeing us kind of come out to Netflix and gaining a larger fandom has been exciting. It's been exciting for me to see everyone come out and just show their love. I mean, it's kind of crazy as well, just by how many more people are seeing the show right now. I mean, being number one on Netflix is huge, and being holding the spot for so long has just been exciting, and it's getting to the point now, I think, where people are kind of like, oh man, this has been here for the couple weeks. I gotta see what this is about. And now I have people out of the woodwork, old friends of mine and stuff, messaging me like, I just saw you in this. Like, that's crazy. Like, random. And yeah, man, it's exciting. It's kind of cool. It's getting a revamp too. We filmed season one, so long ago, and I mean, it's like it's hot news again. So that's been really exciting just to see all the positivity.
Yeah. Are you getting more attention now than you did back when it came out on YouTube?
Yeah, I think so, definitely. I mean, me personally, I feel like I have a lot of people reaching out, just saying, hey, I saw you in it, it was great, or like, they love the character Brooks, or just stoked on the show in general, like, we love Cobra Kai. Getting a lot of that, definitely, and I think, yeah, I think it's definitely much more than it was when we first aired it. Also as well, it's like, uh, I think it was helpful having the fan base in place, everyone that's stoked on it already, because when it came out on Netflix, I think everyone was all stoked just to get like a rewatch in, and that kind of helped give us a jump start, in the lineup of Netflix's trending or top shows, and then that kind of helped us get more people on it, because like I said, everyone just immediately went and binged it. So yeah, man, it's been a huge response.
Nice, nice. So how did you get into acting? What made you want to do it for a career?
Yeah, I got into acting a long time ago, and it was definitely really it was a really random experience. So I was a baby. I was about 9 months old. I don't remember this exactly, so it's kind of told to me as a story from my parents. But we were out shopping in a mall, and had a rep come up to us, basically like an agent come up to us and just say, hey, your baby is cute. Like, it would be interested in working, with you guys. Like, we could use your baby in some lookbook. The baby's me. So, I could be used in some print jobs or some small stuff. And it kind of started there, just doing little gigs, like dressing up in baby outfits for, photographs and lookbooks for companies and things like that. Ended up going out to New York and shooting some stuff for, like, actually, like, for JC Penney and Gap, like little lookbooks. So not like big billboard stuff, but things they would send out for the internal use and everything like that. But yeah, man, it was a really interesting experience because like ever since I can remember, I've been traveling for acting work essentially. Whether it's going out, to some auditions or chemistry reads out, traveling around the southeast or going out to LA to work. Did I skip out here?
I get you're good now. You're good.
Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, man, so it's been crazy. I started when I was young and just, kept with it and kept doing it. And, I'm here now. It's been about 24 years. Technically, I'm 25. So yeah, it's been a wild ride.
Yeah. Did you do any acting or theater in school?
Not really. No, I actually like was homeschooled pretty much my whole life. I've like been to basically like public school a few times for like a grade or two, and pretty much whole high school career was homeschooling. But yeah, so I haven't really had that opportunity. I've done some small classes in Atlanta, Georgia, and in the Burbank area in the Valley of California, and some small classes there, but not a lot of not like a big base like, oh, I did theater throughout high school and stuff like that. None of that.
Yeah. That's just a coincidence that your classes were in Atlanta, Georgia, and California, right? That's a coincidence because that's where they film the show.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, I mean, yeah. The show is based in the Valley essentially, and it's also shot in Atlanta, Georgia, and yeah. It's a bit of a coincidence. I would say that that's kind of where the industries have large bases, and so things just kind of gravitate there. I was doing the classes in Atlanta, Georgia, when I was younger, working on October Road, which is a ABC's #2 drama series for a couple seasons. So I was just there, and my free time, I'd hit the acting classes and just kind of hang out, practice the craft, just learn, pick up stuff. And it's crazy. Everyone's kind of, I keep in touch with some of those folks, and so everyone's kind of doing their own thing and still killing it. But yeah.
Yeah. How long were you in Georgia for when you were filming Cobra Kai season 1?
It was a couple months on and off, like Brucks wasn't in every episode. So I live very close by in South Carolina. It's only a few hour drive. So if I had a couple days off or maybe a week off, I would just drive back home and hang out. But yeah, I was there for, a few months on and off, and it's a great time, dude. Yeah, it's crazy how quickly we can produce content nowadays. It really is. I don't mean to sound old, but I've been doing it for a while, and it's definitely the production process has sped up, and so it's always kind of crazy to see how quickly we can pump out content, like I said.
Yeah. What was the first Cobra Kai? Wait, was the first Cobra Kai scene you filmed I think I remember you said this in an interview, the second episode, right? In the cafeteria? Was that the very first scene you filmed?
Yes, yes. So the actually, you know what? You're getting me fired up here. I'm trying to think now because I remember that was a bit of a crazy incident. I got casted last minute, and sent in the one of the weirdest tapes I've ever sent in. I think it is attributed to me getting to play Brucks, getting the opportunity to play the character. But I sent in a looped audition tape and just, didn't think anything of it. And like 3 days later, I'm, on set. And yeah, I walked into, I walked into the to the cafeteria scene right off the rip. And I think we were messing around with like a snack machine and stuff. And
Yeah.
it was really interesting, man, getting like just sucked right into that realm because, like I said, a few days, so I went from, you know, thinking about it, saying, all right, I got an audition, cool, I'm gonna shoot this, and then boom, you're there. And I was getting some measurements done while I was still, while we were preparing to shoot. It was all kind of like just last minute getting in there. But yeah, dude, that was one of the first scenes.
Oh, wow. So can you talk more about the audition process? How did you find out about this audition?
Yeah, it's been interesting. I've had a lot of people, kind of asking that. and just asking about processes and all. And it's really interesting. I feel like there's a bit of like a shroud of mystery, but ultimately, I have a group of people that work with me, like agents and managers that kind of help they take me, they represent me, and they're like they know what Bo can do and how Bo looks and what's possible. So then they would submit me for opportunities, and if everything syncs up and the casting group agrees with my agents and managers, and they're like, okay, yeah, this guy could play this role, then you get like I said, you get an opportunity to film an audition, and so yeah, you shoot it and send it in and see what happens. I mean, ultimately, it's down to the powers that be. Usually producers, writers, directors, to really cast you, and it's just all about. It's a lot that goes into it, a lot more than you just nailing the technicalities. I think some of it's like essence, and some of it's just vibes or just how you look. It comes down just to how you look sometimes. So yeah, it's really really interesting process. But like I said, I sent in a tape, so I just filmed an audition and sent it in. And nowadays it's kind of moving all towards that because of COVID. But a lot of people used to go into offices and film it with the casting team. But like I said, I'm based in South Carolina. It's kind of a armpit for the industry. There's not much happening here. So I've always sent in tapes, audition.
Yeah. So what scene or lines did you have to recite for your audition?
It was the pizza corner store scene right by the right basically where I got my butt beat by Johnny. It was us getting out of the car, kind of walking around doing that whole thing. It was that bit pretty much.
Hondo P-Sun, right?
Yeah,
Did you have to say
yeah,
that?
yeah, that was it. And it was really short audition, man. Sometimes you get auditions and it's a half a page, and that's not a lot to work with. A good audition for me is like 5 to 10 pages where you're filming 3 or 4 minutes of content, and you actually get to get in character, and you have lots of lines back and forth. And this is like a half a page or something. And I was just like, oh man, here we go. Let's see what we can do with a half a page.
Yeah, but was it just lines or was it like a conversation?
Yeah,
Like,
it was just some just some lines and some like some cues, like some body movements and some actions, and more of that than really lines, especially for Brucks. And that's kind of what the character evolved into, as well as I think personally, and I think that the guys, John, Josh, and Hayden would agree, it's kind of more about what he's just doing, like kind of his aura and his essence, what's going on in the background. So that's what it was for me in the tape. I was really, like I said, I spent more of the time in just grinning, looking around, kind of acting silly than I did really saying anything.
yeah. And you got casted right from there. You didn't have there was no callback to meet in person?
No, none of that. It was just, hey, you got to show up in Atlanta ASAP.
Oh, wow.
Right, here we go. Yeah, it's pretty interesting experience. That happens more often than you think. It's things can happen, and series of events lead one thing to another, and it's like, all right, we got to get this guy in here. No time for formalities.
Yeah. Did you specifically just audition for Brucks, or were you considering auditioning for any other characters? Or
No, I actually only auditioned for Brucks. Like I said, I didn't really have anything else on the radar for this. Like I said, it came in really quick. Like I had less than 24 hours to turn it around. Basically, I got the email, and less than 24 hours later, I needed to send the tape back, that type of thing. So yeah, it wasn't much, of me even diving into it. I just knew, all right, Karate Kid, spin off or whatever sequel, and it's like, okay, here we go. I kind of get that. I actually had seen all the Karate Kids, and I had seen the remake with Jackie and Jaden, and I love the franchise. And it's funny because some of my peers don't really know much about it, just because we're all in our 20s and millennials. And so if our parents didn't show us Karate Kid, or we didn't catch it on some random rerun, then no one knew as much about it. But yeah, my family loved it, and they showed it to me, and so I kind of knew what I was getting into, and so that helped. But yeah, man, yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah. So when you were watching the show, since you were already a fan, were there like references that you spotted? Like how like mind blown were you by being a fan and then seeing this show where it's like tying back to the things you've already watched?
Yeah, man, that was crazy. I'll tell you, because I like, the audition wasn't much meat really for me, like I said. But when I got there and we started getting into it, it was just like off the rip. I was just fanning out. I was stoked, dude, because I mean, it's something that I don't think it's obvious, right? If you watch the show that this is, happening. But at the same time, I think these guys deserve credit, John, Josh, Hayden, and the, producing team and the supportive team. Like the folks behind Cobra Kai are just, they are living it, and they are 110% committed to being authentic and, just like following what was originally put there before them. And let obviously it's apparent all the references are amazing, and sometimes they're so subtle that you have to watch it twice to pick up on it, even if you're like a seasoned fan. That to me, I appreciate that a lot. I mean, personally, second day I'm walking into that, that stunt scene where we're, fighting Johnny, and I'm getting my legs swept. I'm just like, thank you. Like, I'm so blessed to be getting my legs swept by Johnny right now.
Yeah, that's an honor. You were the reference, getting the leg swept.
Yeah.
So how did you approach the character of Brucks? Like, because obviously he's very different than the other bullies on the show, and he's different than like most bullies we see. He's got this like fun little charm to him, but he's still an asshole. So can you talk about like how you were able to portray that character? Did you have any like strategies or acting techniques that you used?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's always interesting. I feel like hearing what people do behind the scenes to get into a character. You know, like I said, it was kind of a quick turnaround. Once I got there, I tried to take some time to chat with the guys and see where they're coming from with this. And I learned about what's some of their inspo. And I watched actually your live feed, with them, and hearing some of the things they had to say was great to hear. But I remember that coming into it, they also kind of liked the idea that I would be a bit of a reincarnation of Dutch from the original, and so it's like not really the same thing, but just a similar essence to that character. And he kind of had the same vibe. So I took that as like a foundation. And then from there, I just kind of put a lot of myself into it. I feel like I used just kind of, I was given some free reign with this character, and I love that because I like to improv. I like to have fun. I like to be kind of physical, with my acting and stuff like that. And body language is how I portray a lot of my emotion and energy. And some people can cut a tear at the drop of a hat, and that's a little harder for me. But I do understand ways to kind of pose or do certain things like that. They can lead to like a dramatic effect or a comedic effect. So getting to use my body language, knowing the foundation and what somewhat inspired the character, and then just like I said, just getting the reins let loose. At some points they'd just be like, you know what, just go in there and have fun with it. And that to me is just like, number one, I'm honored that they trust me, bringing the character to life. But also too, it's just great. You get to have so much fun. You're just out there getting stoked and kind of playing off the scene. So some of the stuff I've done, with Brucks, and the character has done on screen is just like honestly just off the cuff, spur of the moment things. We've taken the lines and kind of evolved with it, and just came up with some of the one-liners that people like to quote, or things that actually just came off the cuff as a improv in one of the scenes. So it's been great to see that type of reaction to the character, because that to me it just gets me stoked. It means that we're in the right headspace.
Yeah. Can you give some examples of actions or lines that you improved that we see in the show?
Yeah. One that people have been loving is skinny dips and bong rips. Everyone like is just a lot of my friends are texting me that just aware because they saw it and they're just like they just texting it. I'm like, great, this is following me around, but it's funny. It's a good time, you know. So things like things like that. I think some of the references to Kyler, where I'm just giving calling him shorthand like pet names or nicknames and just saying just random slang like brute or savage, just bringing that into the character was just me. Basically, the way I talk to my buddies, usually a little less of a jock vibe, but that type of thing. Just calling them nicknames and just giving them like slang or adjectives like that to like encourage them or get them hyped up. So that's just kind of some examples.
Yeah. So the skinny dips and bong rips, was that something you already like, was it like an inside joke with your friends or something you've like said before? Is that how you came up with it?
No, that was just kind of like, it's weird. Improv is interesting because like you kind of, you'll see the line right, and then you work through that, and you want to get the vibe of that. So you're just kind of reading the script, and you pick up on things, and then as you get more depth, I guess you find some spots. Sorry, I had a little computer noise there, but you find some spots in the script where there's like some spaces where it's like, okay, this could kind of be embellished, right? Like I feel like Brucks or the character could take this to another level, and that was just one of those instances. And so we played through it a couple times, scripted. Like I definitely always like want to do that respect to the team that created the script, because that's what we're here for. But when there's time, it's always fun just to kind of ask the cake and we get an extra run, and we can have some fun with some improv. And I love the John, Josh, and Hayden for this. Always calling the guys, but the guys for this because they were always so encouraging when it came to that, and so it was great. So as for that line in particular, first of all, I'm wearing swimming trunks that were like 5 sizes too small, and so little things like that really get you into character, And so I'm just I'm bursting out of these kids swim trunks, and there's actually a pool. The house they shot at, the LaRusso house, is a one whole place. Sometimes you see houses and it's actually 5 different places or something for one house, but the LaRusso household was all one place. So I actually went and got in the pool, actually got wet, and then I was in the bathroom just splashing myself with water the whole time, just in between takes, just getting soaked. And so just kind of getting into that mode, trying to like channel, what it would be like to be at like a high school party like that again. Guess I'm a little older, but just kind of getting that vibe. And as like I said, as you're reading the script, you find those spots, and sometimes you'll think, oh, this could be fun to say, this could be funny to say, and you get a couple going, and then everyone gets in on it, and so everyone's kind of like just you just all start chanting back and forth random things. But the skinny dips and bong rips was one that just kind of came up with off the cuff. I don't know. I like things that rhyme. It's always like it can be catchier, So I was like, if I need to give this like a little bit of a like something like he would come out of the bathroom and he'd just be stoked, like like it's something that he feels like maybe he's heard in a movie, or maybe he saw somewhere that makes him feel tougher than he is or cooler than he is. He's probably never seen a bong or done a skinny dip, but he just heard it somewhere, and that was kind of what inspired that one.
That's awesome. Were there any deleted scenes or deleted lines that Brucks was involved in?
I'm trying to think, man. I think there was a couple small instances that got cut out, but nothing major. I'd have to start thinking back. We were running and gunning, but I know that know that most of the stuff that Brucks was in got put in there. There was one scene in particular that kind of got just shortened. I wouldn't say cut completely, but it was when Kyler was me and him were in the hallway, and I'm actually blanking on what episode this is, but anyway, so we're in the hallway, and he's hitting on LaRusso's daughter, and so we're hanging out. I'm behind him, And sorry, I was just trying to think of the episode, but I couldn't get it to come to mind. But
Episode 4.
there you go.
Episode 4. Yeah.
Yeah, great. And so we were there, and I was, we were filming, and they were kind of letting me kind of do my own thing. They were like, we just want to see you in the background acting silly. And so there was like a whole bit where I just kind of like went off and picked the kid up and threw him in the locker and had like a whole like 5-minute bit back there. And we even ended up getting like a kind of like more of a close up of it, and for a cut to and everything. And that just kind of got shortened, which, again, that was just everyone, I think, having fun in the moment. But yeah, there's some little stuff like that. But, I don't think there was much that really got completely cut out,
Yeah. So have you ever encountered, maybe when you were a kid or maybe even now, have you ever encountered a real life Brucks?
Real life Brucks. Shoot. I don't know, man. I mean, I definitely had my fair share of crazy people ran into. Being able to peg someone as like a real life Brucks, I had to think about that one for a little bit. I feel like I've ran into someone that's definitely kind of inspired that. But yeah, I don't know off the cuff. I can't quite pull anyone to mind. I know I've had some, like I said, I've had some crazy experiences with some funny people. I skateboard. That's like a passion and hobby of mine. So I've traveled around skateboarding a lot, and skateboarders are pretty interesting people. So I definitely think I channeled some of the, like I said, some of the slang and maybe some of the nuances from skaters that I've met. So
Yeah, cool. I know you talked a little bit about it, but can you go more into detail about collaborating with John, Josh, and Hayden, the writers of the show, and what they said to you specifically regarding Brucks and how they wanted you to portray him?
yeah, I mean, it was it was great to work with all those guys. First off, I mean, seriously, like, they're all super talented and legends. They've done a lot of great work. So I was just stoked to be there. It's also really cool seeing them act as like a tripod in a sense, like a trio. Um, it's like a powerhouse right there because they all kind of bounce off each other, and that's great to have, and especially as they were bringing other directors too, because then you brought more great creative minds to the front. So you end up having this entourage, this ensemble of people behind the camera that are all super talented. So you step back there and you're like, all right, how is that? Or what's next? Or, where are we going with this? That type of thing. And you have, 10 different people that can all give you a super, super good answer, and good constructive criticism. So that is just going to make everyone's roles, better. So that was just great to have. It was almost like a support system, but particularly, John, Josh, and Hayden, they remind me of a crew I worked with on Eastbound and Down when I was younger, and that is David Gordon Green and Damon Bride and Jody Hill. And so working with them, they had that trifecta thing going on as well. And so I saw that when I was working with John, Josh, and Hayden. It was like a kind of like a home feeling because I worked on that series Eastbound and Down for about 6 years on and off. So anyway, so seeing that was just kind of gave me a warm feeling inside. So that also made things more like a family type of thing, just having that similarity. But yeah, man, it was rad. They're just all super, super sharp, and they know what's going on. They know how to, call out something if they see it. And they're very, they're very detailed, but also simple. They know how to kind of get their ideas across and how to play out, a scene and can have the foresight to kind of see what after effects may, come from doing something or not doing something. That's all super helpful. And yeah, ultimately, like I said, Brucks getting into the character and just improvising or having fun, they were always down for that. And that as an actor is huge because, you don't want your creative juices to be like constrained. You don't want to being told no, being rejected sucks for anyone. And particularly when you're on set and you're kind of like, because when for me personally, when you're giving out energy, you're making yourself vulnerable in a way, and so you're kind of trying to give out this creative energy and become this character. And so when you're kind of constricted or cut short or told no a bunch, it can be hard to really let that character out and they were always just super positive and open to trying things and letting Brucks be Brucks, and that was just huge. That was like I've told some of my peers, that was one of the first times in my career I feel like I've gotten that experience on a set. So it was huge, man. They're great force to work with.
Yeah. It's definitely great that they're obviously great writers, but then they're also like the biggest fans of the movies in the
Yeah.
world. So the two of those things combined is set up for greatness.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just they're it's crazy. I don't like understand how like they're so good. It's crazy. But
They're like superheroes in that aspect. It's kind of wild. I mean, I remember pertaining to that. I remember technically we were looking at, it was this very subtle, like so something in the background or something like that. Like some set decoration or something. And they're sitting behind the camera getting ready to shoot, and they're like, wait a minute, this doesn't seem right, let's refer to the movie. And so they just had the movie like on lock on their phone. They whipped it up and just read through the movie and scrolled through and found some nuance in the background. They're like, oh, that should be like this, that's how it was in the original. And it's like, yeah, dude, they're living and breathing and dying by the book. And that's, I think, what it makes it so good, dude.
yeah, that's crazy. Can you talk about working with Hiro Koda and Janelle Kerfman for the fight scenes?
Dude, yes, I was so stoked to work with them. I was kind of mind blown that they were there, and dude, he's the Green Power Ranger. Come on. I mean, it's like, I don't know. I loved that as a kid, and I dressed up as every Power Ranger at some point, probably. And just knowing that, I was just fanning out, But he's honestly much more technical than just playing a Power Ranger. But still, it's just like, getting to work with him and knowing that he's like, been in the room and like shared blows with some huge people that are not with us anymore. It's just like, that's like heavy as well, like he's got that energy with him. But yeah, he's a smooth operator all in all. I was really stoked, like I said, to be on set with him. But yeah, man, smooth operator. The guy is great. And his wife also just brings they're a great team. It's really cool, when you have like, you're a team at that level, right? Because you're just so synchronized. And so they would be on set, and it was like they wouldn't even have to talk to each other all day, and they're teaching different scenes, choreography to different people, and then they just be like, hey, I gotta go do this, can you come take over? And they would just, one of them would trade out and the other one would run up, and they would be right into the step that you were taking. You didn't have to say, yeah, we just did this for a half hour, so we're here. None of that. They're like, all right, here's the next step. So having that seamlessness between the two of them is huge. It's honestly badass. I mean, it's such a cool like synergy. But again, too, they're very talented, and they're top tier professionals. So it was great to get to play out some of their choreography, to get to practice with them, work with them, see some of their techniques and stuff, and just honestly like kind of train under them in a sense. It was so sick, dude. I'm stoked.
Yeah. Did you have any prior experience in martial arts or fighting combat before Cobra Kai?
Yeah, actually, I did, and I'm really stoked, because it led to me being able to do about 90%, if not all of my stunts. So that was exciting as well, because I love that stuff. So I was just stoked, and I kind of had to earn it. But ultimately, yeah, I mean, I did. Was practicing for MMA, some mixed martial arts. So I was doing jiu-jitsu, karate, kickboxing, and grappling for a couple years in my teens. And I did karate when I was young as well, like 6, 7, 8 years old. So definitely have a really good like martial arts background. I still do kickboxing to this day. But yeah, I love it. I love the combat sport, and just like being able to kind of move your body and stuff, and kind of letting out your energy in that way can be really constructive and just too, learning all the different like forms and things like that are really cool. But it was great stepping into this role because I had that experience with falling is really the big thing. That's the number one thing, the skill that I really use, because Brucks is almost always getting his butt whooped. So it was a lot of falling, but it was great. It was a good time. I mean, basically, for instance, I'm in the first scene here, and we have a stunt guy, and we're working with him, and I'm just like, man, like I would love to do this, and like he was like, all right, we'll let you give it a shot. And so I was like, all right, I gotta go all out, let them know that I can like take a few blows, or fall over, and do my falls properly, and make it look believable and stuff. And so definitely gave it 110, and I kind of felt like sealed the deal, and everyone was like, all right, he can do his own stunts. That's we'll let him have that one, because you don't want the actors to get hurt. Like if I break my leg, then I can't go in the next day and be Brucks. So you have to have the stunt guys there. But it definitely helps all around when you can actually be in there doing it. Because the camera doesn't have to try to dodge you or something like that. But yeah, man, it was definitely a pleasure, getting to be a part of that and getting to do those things, and having all that background really helped.
Yeah, that's awesome. Just an FYI, if I'm doing this, there's like a fly in my room. So
Dude, go get that.
yeah, I need the chopsticks. I need the chopsticks right now. I could just catch it, but just letting you. I don't know where it is now, but that's why I'll be back. I'll get the chopsticks ready. Can you talk about working with William Zabka and then having to fight him? What was that like? Especially being a Karate Kid fan before. This fly.
Dude, he's coming after you. Yeah, I mean, it was cool. It was really cool. I mean, it was interesting seeing, seeing everyone as I've gotten a little bit older too. But everyone, still knows how to move it. I mean, he's out there doing the stunts as well, and he's still sweeping the leg and doing spin kicks and stuff, and roundhouses, and super flexible. So that's really rad. But William as a person, he's a really cool guy, down to earth, mellow. I was skating around behind the set, messing around, wasting some time one day, and he just came and hopped on the board and rode around for a second. We chatted, and that was like pretty much the first day on set. So it was cool. He just kind of really mellow, down to earth, kind of came up and had a good time. So he's kind of feel like he's like naturally like a good old boy, like from coming from South Carolina. Everyone down here is kind of like, hey, how you doing? Everyone's a family type of thing, and he kind of had that vibe. So that was really cool.
Yeah. So what was it like? Can you talk about the episode 1 mini Mart fight scene? That's definitely one of my favorite fights. It's one of the biggest moments of the whole show. It's Johnny's like reawakening. Can you talk about the whole scene from getting out of the car to then getting your butt kicked by the freaking Karate Kid, or who some people think is the Karate Kid?
Right, dude, and not to be on a tangent, but the way that they open up to that, that theory is amazing. Yeah. But anyway, the whole thing was awesome. I mean, we're there, and we have the hero vehicle, which is that crazy Jeep, and we're riding up in that thing, and it was actually extremely hard to get in and out of. And so that was kind of weird because we're all mic'd up, and you can't go too hard with the mic on, and that thing was jacked up higher than it looked, and so we were kind of trying to be elegant, getting in and out of it, but it was fun. It was cool. We were in there kind of jamming out beforehand, some music, in between scenes we jam out some music, so we were kind of trying to get in the vibe as if it's whatever Friday night and we're stoked, to go get, a drink or whatever. So anyway, but yeah, it was a good time, man. It was a cool scene. So we just going into that, getting to deliver those lines too. I mean, messing around, and then ultimately getting, ending up going blow to blow with Johnny was crazy. I mean, it's cool because everyone there is like practiced a lot with their choreography and the stunts and all. And so you you're part of an entourage of like 4 guys running at one dude, and for all of us not to run into each other is kind of miraculous. So it's pretty cool that we can all get out there and be coordinated and stuff like that. But yeah, it was a good time, man. It was this unseeming location too. I like the locations they picked. It was kind of a weird place to do a fight scene. It's a little patch of grass, and it's like a weird little, excuse me, a weird little like derpy, old strip mall and stuff. And it's such a good location, dude. You really feel like you're there. You feel like you're in the valley for sure. Like that place is legit.
Yeah. How much did you practice the actual fight scene with William Zabka?
Yeah, we ran through it on the day a couple times. For a little while we spent some time running through it, and then when we got actually to the shot, we ran through it a bunch, getting all of the departments in there so they can all kind of do their job and check on everything and have the camera there and stuff. So, but we really only did it with William that day. The rest of the time, it was just kind of like we had a day where we spent learning it with Hero's team, and then we would kind of just practice, on our own, or at least I would practice in the hotel room at night by myself and try not to kick over the lamp or something.
Yeah, and the fight looks very. It doesn't look like it. There were many clips. Like there was like I know there was like in the beginning there was one really long shot like where the camera just kept running. How many different takes like were there like punches and then cut, or was it pretty much you went through the whole fight and they just had a bunch of different cameras?
Yeah, I mean, they were running like 2 cameras, sometimes 3, and that's great when that's a thing. But also, too, you got to be careful of, crossing the line of the cameras jumping on top of each other. So there's a lot going on. I mean, like I said, that space is kind of weird. So as well. So, I know we had a couple wides where we did the whole thing, and then after that, it was kind of sectioned off to just certain parts of the fight scene where, they have a tight on someone. They just want to see that person get kicked in the face or whatever, ultimately too, it's funny because we are shooting all these angles and these reverses and, tights and wides. And at the end of it all, you only get 2 or 3, angles because, if you're cutting constantly and you're adding more to it, it kind of, in a weird way, it can have a negative effect and possibly slow down the fight. And if it slows it down, it might not be as like engaging, and ethereal. So there's an art to the post process where you're actually editing all that together and knowing what to use and what not to use.
Yeah. So you did have former martial arts experience. So was that a requirement for the audition? Because I know a lot of people from the show didn't have any experience. So was that for your character? Was that a requirement?
I don't remember that in the breakdown and all. So I don't know. I think I mentioned that. I think I remember mentioning that I have that experience, but I don't think that was actually really a thing that was required. I mean, they have such a great team that pretty much everyone was doing daily training just to kind of get up to speed and things like that. And I think it works out great too for some of them because you have like Miguel who shouldn't have any experience, and I mean because of that, the first couple punches he threw were really like his first punch type of thing. Maybe not exactly that, but you get that feeling because it's kind of real, and that's kind of special too because it's like it just adds to it when you have that realness.
That's a very good point. I never actually really thought about it like that because he is like epic in episode 5 when in that cafeteria fight, but then compare that to the season 2 finale, he's a whole nother person. So that's because it's actually Showo, his real karate style. I never thought about it like that. So
yeah, I know. I was talking to him and Hiro, and they were working their butts off. I remember Hiro talking about his kicks, trying to get him flexible, trying to stretch him out so that he can throw some good kicks and things like that. And trying to get him ready in time because you can't. even Hollywood movie magic can't take you from zero to a hero. You know, you got to put in that work. You know, I mean, all these people that you see on these action flicks are actually in the gym, or they're in the dojo, and they're doing their training, and you know they're eating right and exercising to be in shape to do these moves, even if they're even if they're only doing half their stunts, you know, because they have to have that hero shot where at least you see their face and their body doing the move. And so yeah, I mean, people are, you know, it can be hard work, you know, to get in there and actually be that person, you know. But yeah, I remember them talking about, you know, working on getting in shape and everything. So and you know, I was going in for a couple training sessions too, and it was real. Here I had them in there breaking a sweat.
Yeah. Um, can you talk about the cafeteria fight, and can you compare those two fights?
Totally. I love that cafeteria fight, man. That was amazing. I just remember
Yeah.
like the choreography. I was like, man, he's gonna look like a badass in this over with, dude. It was awesome. It was awesome, dude. I loved it. But anyway, yeah, I mean, you know, that was interesting. Again, the falling coming into play, and I also, like I said earlier, I skateboard a lot, and so I'm pretty used to, and not trying to sound like, you know, too cool here, but I'm used to falling on the concrete, and you kind of get conditioned, you know, and it's like you kind of get used to how it feels. And I was just talking to them. I was like, I can do the fall. I'd love to try it and that type of thing. And again, they were like, all right, you know, we'll let you give it a go. And so it's a lot different though. A lot of times, and you know, you get to take a fall and you're doing it on a mat. And even there, they had mats there for the first couple of times I took my fall. But then we had one or two shots where I had to go all the way to the ground. And that's where kind of the falling techniques I told you about that I actually learned MMA and jiu-jitsu came into play, where you can kind of still hit the ground or hit the mat, but also in a way, you know, catch yourself so you're safe. So, you know, it was great having that knowledge, and you know, Hero's team just kind of reinstated that. We worked on some stuff, you know, behind the scenes and training, you know, to get ready to be able to hit the ground for real and not, you know, come up with like a skint knee or a broken bone. But yeah, man, that was a fun one. I mean, because there's a couple wides we shot where the whole cafeteria is in action. Literally 80% of that room. The room was big. It's a really big room. Was like, you know, hot. It was on the camera. And when that's happening, you really feel enveloped, and that is just like such a fun thing to do as an actor. You know, if you're in a small room and you have like thousands of cameras around you, you know, and all this equipment around you, then you're kind of like, you know, you can definitely tell that you're you know, being filmed, right? But when you're in a large room like that, and like I said, most of the scene, most of the set is hot, and there's, you know, 100 people in there with you, and everyone's breathing, and there's all that energy. It makes it like really special, and you know, there's a lot of like I said, it's just like you're on fire. You know, like I remember a couple times we did those wides where we did the fight scene from start to finish, dude, and at the end when everyone's cheering, they were really cheering because we were just stoked that we, you know, made it through that, you know, and did it all and everything worked out.
Yeah. So was that one in one take? Did you do all the for that cafeteria fight? Did you do all the actions, or did they
Yeah, we
have
had, sorry, go
yeah.
ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say, like, did they, like, were there like more cuts with this one?
Yeah, I mean, you know, they put some cuts in there. We definitely shot some different, you know, different pieces, you know, but it was pretty much all one go. I mean, you know, and that's why I was saying we had these wides that were just awesome, you know, because we had excuse me, we also had a steady cam in there as well, and, you know, shooting some stuff. So yeah, I mean, it was definitely like a one take. I think they used the shot too where Miguel has the cafeteria, you know, the little tray, and he
Yeah.
flips it around his back, and it kind of does like a crazy flip type of thing. And we all remember watching that back, and we're like, how did you get your hands on that? You know, it was like set up to just fly out of his hands, because that happened a bunch. There are a bunch of times where he rolled over it and couldn't get his hands on it, or when he got his hands on it, it just flung into the air, you know, because he's got so much force. And I remember that one, and we were just all like, dude, how do you hold on to that? It was great. And that brought realness to it, because he, you know, I know he felt this. I felt, because I'm charging at him. So I felt this. I was like coming at him, and I was like, you know, committed. And I was like, wait, he's not going to hold on that tray. So I didn't really like come out of character, but I'm thinking this in the back of my head. And then it's still in his hands. And I'm still coming at him, and I'm like, oh crap, I got to get back into it because I'm about to get hit with this. And I think, I'm sure he felt something similar, like, oh crap, it's in my hands. Like, here we go, and that really brings life to it because then it adds an edge to it, gives you a little adrenaline and makes it more real. And it just it definitely portrays on camera.
Yeah. I have to go back and see your reaction and see if like I could like spot that like moment. But I know show
but that, possibly.
what?
I said,
What
yeah,
did
it
you
was
say?
definitely internal, but it possibly, could have showed up. I know. I mean, just saying that's kind of how I was thinking through it, what was
Yeah.
happening. Yeah, you have to check it out though and think about it. After hearing some of the behind the scenes tales.
Yeah. So Sholo actually, I remember he like maybe he did a Twitch stream or something. He talked about that. What he did was like he missed the tray. He was supposed to grab it like with his right hand or something. He missed it and then was able to grab it with his left. Like just something
Yeah, yeah,
crazy. And that
just
was the cut you used.
yeah, and just in the moment, just made it work out. And then like I said, everyone's like, "All right, we're on," and that gives you a little extra stoke because you're just like, you're kind of you're making it happen. You're doing what your best, to kind of get all these moves together. As if you were like actually like you're going for it. It's kind of like you're trying to hit a home run or something, or like throw a pass and run it to like a field goal or something. It's like that energy is there on that level when you're doing stuff like that.
Yeah. Um Can you talk about the Halloween dance from episode 3? Because even though not all of you guys were in the same scenes together, you were like pretty much all the kids of the show were together. Did you have any like fun behind the scenes moments with the cast?
Yeah, dude, that it was a great time, man. Everyone was just so fun, and everyone was so cool and down to earth. And I mean, I was purposely hanging out with a few people just for chemistry. I was hanging out with Anna and Joe. To just kind of get acquainted. Purposely, I was like, all right, let's go out. No matter what, let's go hang out and have like some dinner after work today. That type of thing. Just kind of get to know each other, but it ended up almost all the time everyone else would show up and just all be there hanging out together, and it was great. A lot of behind the scenes chemistry. And so when you're on scene, you're on set. I mean, everyone's at kind of at work in a sense, so we're all focused, but you still have downtime where everyone's just kind of hanging out, chit chatting, and having fun. And in between takes is a good time, and it's great for that particularly because then everyone has the chemistry's real. You're all actually at your school dance in a sense.
Yeah. Did you have a most memorable behind the scenes moment? Was there one moment that just really stood out to you?
Oh man, I mean, we ended up this kind of corny, but we ended up celebrating a birthday on set for me, and that was really cool. Sorry, I bumped my table, but that was really cool.
Okay.
And it was a surprise thing. I didn't really tell anyone it was my birthday, and I've celebrated a couple birthdays on set, but that was really cool for me personally, just to have everyone like kind of come out, stop what they were doing, and like congratulate me, and we had like Crafty made like a really nice cake, and so we all kind of took a second and had a slice and showed out. And that was really cool, personally, just to get that type of recognition amongst all the stuff that was going on. That was really special. So that was rad. I was really stoked for that. But besides something like that, I mean, there's some really cool instances. I remember that the scene where we were doing I was bullying Hawk's character in the library. That was a really good. That was just a really good time because we were all kind of in there together, and there was some downtime because they were doing a lot of work moving around the cameras and stuff, and so we had just had a great time that day, just kind of shooting the breeze while they were setting stuff up. So that was a really fun one as well.
Yeah, that sounds nice. Um, what was your favorite scene to film out of all the scenes? What was the most fun that you enjoyed?
Man, definitely. I think it comes into the choreography aspect. I mean, it's that, or getting to do something fun like the scene at LaRusso's house where I'm just soaked. I mean, that scene was definitely great. And then yeah, probably the man, yeah, I'd probably say like the cafeteria fight or something. The energy in the cafeteria was insane, and it's kind of like something you'd feel, not quite on that level, but definitely really special, like something you'd feel at like a playoff stadium or something where the whole crowd's just like you feeling everyone's energy. And then as
Yeah.
well, like you said, that scene at LaRusso's house was great because it's like for me personally, I'm in there and I'm getting to be really physical with myself, right? Like I'm feeling the constraint of the swim trunks. I'm soaking myself in water. And then you come out and you kind of forget how crazy you look, and then you hit your line, and they call cut, and then everyone just bursts out laughing, and you're like, oh great, I'm glad that was received well. It's a positive thing. It's like immediate feedback. So that was a good time as well.
Yeah. I personally make some movies too. So I get that like when you're in the environment, when you have the costume on, when you're like drenched in
Yeah,
water or whatever it is, it gets you. It
yeah,
makes you more like into it and you feel like you are the character. So
yeah,
um
dude. That stoke, yeah, you're definitely feeling that fire, dude. You're like you're in character. That's it.
yeah, and even the background people of the fight, like I've watched that cafeteria fight so much and you see all of them like on their phones reacting. It's like each one of them is like just so into it. Looks like a real fight. Like I'm in high school and I could tell you right now that if something like that were to happen, like that would be the first thing everybody does is just take out their phones and record. So I love
Yeah,
the realness of it, you know?
yeah, dude. They had a great AD team and PA team that was kind of wrangling everybody. I remember they were working super hard to get the background on point. And too, they had never no one gets to see those the choreography of the fights beforehand. So when they show up and they see us
Ah,
run around and do all this crazy stuff, they're definitely kind of like surprised. They're like, what is this? What's happening right now? So yeah, I think I was stoked as well. I remember seeing that, them getting everybody to react and stuff, and it was definitely paid off. I'm glad that you know everyone's seeing it in the background and respecting it, because that to me, I do that a lot when I'm watching stuff. I'm trying to look for the nuances and seeing, because it envelops you, it makes it real.
yeah. You sound like you're very into the behind the scenes of like filmmaking and all that. Do you have a passion for that? Have you done any like behind the scenes filmmaking or anything?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I've made my way around a set before and done some random, work in different areas, of the production. And I love it all around. I definitely am super into like the idea of like kind of directing, and I also have a weird niche for like set decoration, and stuff like that. I mean, I just kind of just trying to envelop like the art form, because everyone that's there has like there's like the level, there's like the epidermis, the level that's on the face of what they're doing. Like sound guys obviously recording sound, but what you don't know is the sub level, of all the nuances that they have to think of to make sure everything's captured right. And then there's like a sub level where this guy happens to know how a certain head on a mic will react to a certain fabric of a shirt, so that you can get the clearest sound while hiding a microphone somewhere, or just little things like that where you're like, oh, this is like to come from like a function to an art form. And it's like just appreciating all that stuff is really cool, because when it's done right, it's like an orchestra kind of, everyone's killing it at their job. They're there, they're nailing it, and you get like a beautiful, piece of work, like a good film or TV show, or even just a commercial, whatever, you captured something.
Yeah, that's awesome. Um, so in your opinion, do you think like playing the character of Brooks, you probably have like the most like insight background? Like, do you think he's would you say he's a good guy trying to fit in with the group, or do you think he's just a flat out bully, you know?
Yeah, I've told you this in my head a couple of times personally. Um, and I've talked with the guys about it too, John, Josh, and Hayden, trying to figure out the core here. because I think about that, because when I'm doing this, I'm like, there's a threshold you cross when you're playing a bully that goes from funny to mean to like soul crushing, and there's like
Yeah.
levels to that, and each level can kind of dictate what's in the character's heart, essentially. And so you're trying to figure all this out, and get to the bottom of it, and some of it you're letting yourself play in and you're kind of letting instinct take over, but sometimes you have to have boundaries. And so, I always set the boundaries for myself and with Brucks at, stopping at the point to where it's not funny for him anymore. For Brucks, it's about it being entertaining and funny, and he's also kind of has this dumb luck type of thing, or just kind of happy go lucky type of, uh, mindset, where to him it's funny, and he, doesn't know much better, and it's not a good excuse, but that's it for him. He doesn't know much better. He just thinks it's funny. And it's kind of like a thing where it's like he thinks that you think it's funny too, right? And it's like, and he thinks Kyler thinks it's funny, so it's like a joke type of thing to him. I don't think Brucks would ever take it to the point where he's actually like, really trying to mutilate somebody. I mean, we've seen him in the gang like beat up Miguel pretty bad, but it's one of those things where, for him, it's just kind of like a bite your tongue, swallow your gut, and kind of do this because this is what you're doing as a friend in servitude to Kyler, and so that's where I kind of got that from. But ultimately, it's a weird, really weird, dark, twisted version of like happy go lucky, having fun type of thing for Brucks. So, I think he easily could have been like not a bully. We talked about this some. I think he could have easily been a nerd if he just was maybe didn't have the stature of a bully. Because it's referenced a few times, like he comes off the cuff in the library scene with a grammar correction, and it's just like,
Yeah.
that was random. We thought this guy was stupid, So anyway, yeah, there's lots of layers to it for sure.
Yeah, that's so cool. And like I can't wait to rewatch it, like hearing what you're saying. And once again, it's like a real modern bully. It doesn't feel like, like you back in some movies you have like the bullies who are just like taking your
Yeah,
lunch money and just being like pure
giving you away.
evil,
Yeah,
giving you wedgies. But like it's like they kind of like joke about it. They're not really just pure evil. So I think it's like really cool. Like Brucks, he's not an evil guy, but he's just this like kind of like asshole, but
yeah.
not too much. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's a cool balance. Um, did you, as an actor, um, did you find it easier to play a bully or harder to play the bully, or did you enjoy playing the role of this bad guy?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny. Like, I've always been like a big guy, especially as a kid. I was like really tall for my age. And so I ended up playing bullies a lot. So I kind of got that figured out in a sense. You kind of know how to act to come off as a bully. And so it was kind of easy just to step into that. But all my bullies I've played, I've been kind of like an old school, corny bully, like you mentioned. It's always stupid stuff like, giving you a black eye, or, taking your lunch money, or giving you a wedgie, or, whatever, throwing your homework in the toilet or something, It's like, excuse me, it's like stuff like that. And that's, I think Brucks, got this extra layer of, just of a character when we got to bring in all of these nuances. So, but yeah, it's always been kind of easy for me just because I feel like I'm like almost trained in it at this point, because it's interesting. If I'm not playing the bully, I actually am usually playing the kid getting bullied, right? The bully, and I'm usually getting bullied. I'm playing, like a chubby nerd or something, and so and I've played a lot of roles, some funny, but then some very serious roles where I'm getting bullied, and so I think it helps to be able to comprehend both ends of that, from an
Yeah.
acting point at least, and so you can kind of it helps you play it up more.
Yeah. So would you rather play the one getting bullied or being the bully?
It just depends, dude. It really depends. Like Brucks to me is like a dream, because you just get to have fun. I like to have fun personally. I like to joke around personally, and so I think that kind of is transcended into the character. But Brucks is that on like an extreme level. I've played some bullies where you're just mean the whole time, and I kind of go home bummed at the end of the day. I was like, man, like I know it was, you're just acting, right? But you have to put those emotions into it, and you're kind of just upset because you were just mean all day, and that's not really fun. And also the other way around. I've had some days where I've just been literally having to like be in a mental state, ready to cry the whole day because every scene I'm getting, my heart broken by someone or whatever. So I'm having to cry or at least look sad. And so that again, you're going home bummed. You're just like it's hard to turn that on and off. You can to a level, right? But then you still have some like wavering effects. So definitely this character is great. I'd honestly probably prefer not to play a bully or a bully though, but it has to be done. So
Yeah. So if Brucks were to find out about Miguel's injury from the school fight, what do you think his reaction would be?
I don't know, man. It's hard to say. I mean, hypothetically, I guess if Brucks, Brucks's mom got a call and heard about this, I think he would be probably be a little bummed. Like I said earlier, he's not out to kill anyone, even really, wound anybody. You know, so I think hearing about that would be like kind of like a thing where it's like, oh man, a bit of a wake up call. Um, but at the same time, I mean, I think he's living his own life, so what who knows? But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, he wasn't involved with it, so it was interesting. But what a good scene though, too, huh? That school fight. Not to change the subject, but
Oh my God.
dude,
It's
yeah, I remember watching. I remember watching the setup because they would have a crew of stunt people just do it, and they'd film it on an iPhone or something. I remember watching that and I was like, wow, and seeing
yeah.
it happen with all the characters, I was just like fanning out myself personally. But yeah, man.
Yeah, that fight was that's like the whole show leading up to that. If that's the season 2 finale, what's the season 3 finale? It's just
Who knows?
it's
We might
crazy.
go to space.
What?
I said we might go to space. Everyone's going to go into space and fight in outer space. Only way to stop that.
Imagine. I mean, I don't know. I feel like that would be the only way to top it, or like underwater or something. Like, just
Yeah.
you gotta go big.
That'd
Um,
be
um, if you could play any other character in the show other than Brucks, who would you play and why?
man. I don't know. That's a good question. Dude, you know what's funny, and this is just kind of silly, but actually, my buddy the other day told me I got the Sensei crease cut, so I think that'd be
I,
fun. I got like the hair poof right now. We kind of
I see it.
Yeah, we kind of have the same like blonde hair a little bit and stuff. So I was like, he was like, you should do like a skit where you play him. I was like, oh, I don't know, maybe. He's a smooth operator too, man. We're seeing him on set, and I'll tell you what, another behind the scenes niche is lighting a cigar. I imagine a lot of the fans are too young to smoke, so they haven't had to light a cigar. But you can like watch someone do it. It's hard to light a cigar, and it's like the way they burn stuff. You have to have a really nice lighter, and he's usually lighting it with some little zigzag Zippo lighter, and it's just honestly it's art form. I went up to him and told him like I hit him up and say I appreciate that because like that's just pure art, honestly. And that's just little nuances. I mean, he does it live in the scene as a character. He's just it's kind of like when it's time to light it up, he's lighting up the cigar. I'm just like, how many times did the cigar not get lit and ruin the scene or something? It's like
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that. I think about like, oh man, this is crazy. But anyway, maybe I'll do a little crease skit or something. But
Yes,
yeah,
that'd be awesome.
characters.
So Crease, that would be the character.
I guess so. Right now, yeah,
That'd be cool.
yeah, that'd be fun, huh? I don't know. Let's get into it. I'll
I,
just send you
I
some clips of a crease skit, me just failing at lighting a cigar.
I would probably, I don't know if Crease would be my number one, but I'd definitely say top 3 of someone I would want to play. All right, this is a tough one, but do you have a favorite Brucks line?
Oh man, favorite personal line. I'm not sure, dude. I think I had fun. I really had fun delivering that line and going back to it about the grammatical error. That was fun for me. Just getting to kind of it was like a juxtaposition, and at the same time, it's like a whole different side of him. So getting to deliver that and showcase some depth and layer was really cool. So that's probably one of it's probably the favorite as of right now. That's coming off the top of my head,
Yeah. All right, so I have one last question, and then if you want, before we end, we could take some questions from the chat. So,
Yeah,
right, is that cool?
yeah, totally.
All right, so everybody, comment your questions you have for Bo, and we'll
Right.
we'll we'll answer some of them. So I have one last question for you.
Mhm.
If Brucks were to join a dojo, would he join Cobra Kai or Miyagido?
That's a hard one, dude. I don't know. I feel like I feel like the Cobra Kai guys are too mean. Like I said, I think he's kind of a teddy bear at heart. He
Yeah.
might get there and kind of get disgruntled a little bit. Also, too, I just don't think it would work out, man. He's got all those guys in there. He's bullied and stuff, and he'd probably get upset, seeing them, whatever, just like outdo him or something. It's like so he might join Miyagi-Do. I don't know.
All right.
Maybe,
So,
yeah, that'd be cool. Honestly, they have a way funner looking dojo, dude. They got the koi pond and stuff, like Zen. They got grass, dude. I bet that Cobra Kai dojo is super smelly.
oh yeah, everybody's feet on the
No,
mat. Like,
yeah, dude. So I think a lot more Zen over there at Miyagi-Do.
what do they do in the winter? Like they go in that like indoor dojo, but like, could it really fit that many people though? Like, are they all just cramped in that one?
I
Like
mean,
what?
yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
I
it
don't
takes
know.
place in LA. It takes place in LA. It doesn't snow there. I
Yeah, it
forgot.
doesn't. It might get
Or it
cold
doesn't.
like 1 or 2 days. Any day that it does, though, I bet Daniel LaRusso has got like a super nice like oil diffuser inside waiting. So
Yeah,
it's pretty chilling there.
yeah, yeah. And actually, I have one more question.
Yeah.
Would you, as Bo, so Brucks would join Miyagi-Do, but you as
Mhm.
Bo, would you join Cobra Kai or Miyagi-Do?
Dude, another hard one. I don't know. I honestly don't know who I would join. I think it would be. I think it'd be more fun to join like Cobra Kai just because they're actually like getting straight to it. They're actually punching stuff. I mean, excuse me. It takes a lot of dedication to wax on and wax off for months before you realize you can like block a punch. I'd probably get fed up with that.
Yeah, and actually, this just came to mind. The end of season 2, you weren't at the school fight. You weren't there. Is there? Do you know why? Is there like a reason that you could explain? Like, is your character graduated, or did we just not see him? Will we find out? Like, is there
Yeah,
anything?
I'm not really sure why. We didn't talk much about that. I know we were talking about some hypothetical just for the character's purpose in the last scene that we saw Brooks at the party. Where he's they get scared off and all. So I think it's one of those things, or maybe who knows? Maybe they heard that fight was going on. And they were like, oh no, we're not messing with these fools. We know they could whoop our butts, so we're just gonna let them be crazy in that wing of the school all they want. Or maybe they were at football practice or wrestling practice. Who
Yeah.
knows? I know I was personally, I was already wrapped out, so I was back at my skate park in South
Yeah.
Carolina. Around. So that's where I was personally, but where Brucks is, I don't know.
So are they seniors? Is Brooks, Kyler, are they seniors now?
Yeah, I'm actually not sure. We haven't talked about this. I know they were upperclassmen, but I don't know what year they're in.
But they are still in high school. They ain't graduate.
From what I understand, yeah, I believe so. They are still like in high school. They didn't like go off and graduate or anything.
All right, cool. That's something I've always like, because it's never really explained. Like it always just seemed like Brooks and Kyler were older, like maybe a year older.
Yeah, I mean, I know we joked around once or twice that maybe like Brooks particularly is like in the dunce space and like is missed a year or something. So he's a little older than he should be. But yeah, I don't know exactly what year they're in.
Yeah. All right. So let's take some questions from the chat.
What y'all got?
Bo, if you see any questions you want to pick out, you could just
Okay.
read them out, and I'll pick some too if you want.
Okay, I think it's glitching up a little bit on my end. Can you see me and hear me still?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, I'm trying to see on this chat box. You got one?
I think I have a good one.
Okay.
Hassan V1, are you in touch with the guy who played Kyler? So Joe Co. Do you guys still talk, chat?
Yeah, Hassan V1. That's a good question, dude. Yeah, like I said, we're actually really good friends. Me and Joe are really tight homies. I've actually stayed at his house in California a couple times and hung out with him outside of shooting a bunch, and vice versa. Him and Anna and me actually had a long weekend during this shooting, season 1, and I actually took him on like a tour of South Carolina and drove him to like my hometown and just had a bunch of fun. And yeah, they're all great. Still keep in touch with him and Anna actually, so pretty closely.
Yeah, that's cool. Your guys' relationship on this show definitely shows. Like it looks like they've been like friends like forever, right?
Yeah, that was definitely kind of the mood we wanted to set, and that's why I said too. Immediately the night I got there, I we're giving each other's information, so I just kind of hit him up and I was like, hey, we got to bro down ASAP because tomorrow we're supposed to, be best friends, and so we went and like ate pizza and talked for like 5 or 6 hours and just like got super close, and then it was easy after that. Like I said, every night we were kicking it.
Oh wow, that's awesome. Oh wait, oops. Oh, may you say happy birthday to me,
Oh,
please?
what's up, Juice Joel? Happy birthday, dude! Yeah, congratulations! You made another trip around, dude.
Yeah, happy birthday. I didn't even mean to click on that, but I'm very glad I did. I didn't even see that. Happy birthday. Let's see.
Oh yeah, what do we got? The homie said it does take dedication to wax on, wax off. That's funny. Movie vibes.
Oh, how about this one? The classic Brute Kai line, written or improvised?
Yeah, that one was improvised. What's up, Seth Cashman? That's a good question. Yeah, it was improvised. I mean, I think the John, Josh, and Hayden touched on this with their interview with you, but there was definitely a call out there, a buddy call out. They were already kind of tossing around this nickname of Kai, and but yeah, we came in and we started playing around with stuff, and basically every take I would say something different. It would just be something I picked up with my buddies or just from skate culture, and it would just be like something different every time, and that one ended up sticking, and kind of once it stuck, it became like the motto in a sense. Everything was brute after that.
Yeah, that's Brute Kai.
Yeah, that's brute.
You want to take like 3 more questions?
Yeah, let's do it.
Again, all right. And once again, if you see anything, just let me know. If there's any good questions over here.
All right. Man, there's so many people in here chatting. I love this. I love it. We got okay, I don't really know how to do this, but do you see
I
this
could put it
comment
up.
from Alice Coyote 2007?
Is this it?
Yeah, what's up, dude? Alice Coyote. All right, sick. So
So who's your
yeah,
favorite villain from the original Karate Kid trilogy? Good question.
yeah, dude, totally. So my favorite villain is actually Daniel LaRusso.
Oh God.
No, dude, but that was yeah. I mean, it's hard, right? There's the whole theory out there, and I have a lot of people that hate Daniel LaRusso's guts that are friends with him, and so I had to throw that one out there. But I mean, honestly, I don't really have like a favorite villain as portrayed in the original film, but I absolutely love what they did in season 1 when they had Johnny and Miguel sit down and they flipped the script literally. And
Yeah.
that was riveting for me. I was just like, this is amazing writing.
Yeah, that was pretty much that video. You remember the video that came out like a couple years before Cobra Kai, Daniel's a real bully? It was
Yeah, it was
pretty
like
much
it was a conspiracy theory or something. It was so funny how it was edited and stuff. Yeah, I loved it.
yeah, exactly.
What
Okay,
else we
this is
got?
a good one.
All right.
Who Phase Vendetta? Who is your favorite character from the show?
Phase Vendetta. Yeah, favorite character. That's hard, dude. Trying to think. I I really like Johnny as an adult. Like I think he's hilarious as an adult. Um, I think he's like I don't know. He does a good job playing the part, and the writing's great, and he's just funny, dude. He's still stuck in the '80s, and I just feel like I know a lot of people like that is his age now, especially being in the South. It kind of reminds me, like the character kind of reminds me of someone you'd see in the South. They're just kind of like misogynistic and ignorant and silly, but like still sweethearted. And you're just like, I don't know, it's just funny to me. It just kind of reminds me of some people I know. So I think I like Johnny a lot.
Yeah, he definitely has like the greatest lines in the whole
Yeah.
show.
Yeah,
Just
it's all
the
about
one line.
delivery too. Because if you say that the wrong way, you're gonna have a mob coming after you. But he delivers it in a way where it's like it's sweethearted almost, and you're just like, that poor fella. It's like bless his heart. As we say down here, it's like, oh, bless his heart.
Yeah, yeah. Like when he's like saying the comment about like the girls not like women can't be in the army. It's like that's
Yeah,
an offensive comment,
yeah,
but like the way he says it, he's just so out of touch with it. You can't really get mad at him for not
exactly.
knowing. All
Yeah.
right, so yeah, what were you say?
No, I see. That's it. It's on point for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Do you want to do one more question or?
Yeah, what you got? We got one more floating around there. Got anybody? On the
I'll
top of
let
the
you.
list?
You could pick out the last one. So, do you see any?
Okay, I'm trying to scroll around here. Oh wow, these are
There's a lot.
This is yeah, they're coming in right now. I don't know.
Yeah, thank you to the 174 people in here right now. Thank you guys so
Yeah.
much.
Wow, there's a lot going on. All right, how about I'm trying to pick a good one now. I kind of feel like I have like a like a standard to poll. We got to pick a fun one to answer. Yeah, dude, it's like
We
I
could
halfway
do.
read through it, and then you see anything? I'm halfway reading through it, and then it jumps. I'm like having trouble keeping up. Everyone's so stoked.
Oh, yeah, it's going by. It's going by quick. Let's see.
A pretty interesting one from Noah.
Oh, I see it.
We can throw that one up there. That one's pretty solid. Yeah.
Yeah.
How did your family initially react to your acting role in Cobra Kai? Noah Irwin Vlogs. So I almost tried to read your last name as like like I don't know, I thought that I didn't catch that the last part of that was vlogs. And I tried to like pronounce it. I was about to pronounce it crazy, but then it hit me. It was just vlogs. So sorry, but yeah, I mean, you know, my family's like pretty used to this stuff, so I think they've seen me act a fool a lot worse than, you know, Brucks. But I did, you know, get a lot of, you know, good reactions out of just like how funny the character was and the content was. That was great, you know, because I feel like, you know, when you can make the people that are close to you, you know, feel something, it definitely it definitely shows that, like, all right, I'm doing the right thing, because, you know, they are kind of already used to, you know, what I have going on, but still that we can incite some emotion from people that are close to me was really cool. So, you know, that was rad. And then also too, it's just a lot of people are just stoked that, you know, to see me as a part of the franchise now. You know, you're in like a legend. You know, this is like a legacy, you know, a dynasty. It's like so cool to have the chance to be a part of this. So
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on again. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. This has been great.
Yeah, of course. I definitely I got some insightful stuff, especially like talking about your acting, like how you approached Brucks. So I can't wait to go back and rewatch. And I see what you're saying when you say it, and I like could pick it up. But I need to, when I go back and rewatch, I'll even understand more and appreciate this stream even more. So thank you for coming on. Thank you everybody for joining. Really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed this stream. And before we end, do you want to close it off with your favorite Brucks line? Any Brucks line to end it off?
Favorite Brucks line. All right. That's Brucks Kai.
Hey, Cobra Kai never dies. Bye, guys.